Hi, I'm Dr. Joy Berg, the curator of Cypress's church choir series called Songs for the Sanctuary. And we're here today to talk to a composer who has a piece in this series, Dr. Gord Adnams. Hi, Gord. Good to see you today.
Hi, Joy. Nice to
So
see you
you
too.
you have created the piece Good Friday that we've included in this series. And so I'm going to come to a question or two about that piece. But first of all, would you tell us about yourself as a composer and as a church musician?
Well, my composing was probably typical of some. In my youth, I wrote songs for my guitar, and my brothers, we had a music ministry amongst the churches and so on. And then as I became more involved and full-time in churches, most of my writing was arranging and then composing when necessary. So there was an impetus there always to be writing of some sort. And as I grew more confident, I began composing more. And so it's an evolutionary process, but it's mostly born of necessity. I didn't have this inner impulse to compose. This things needed to be done for the church ministry, and it was done.
What are your inspirations for this piece of music, particularly for Good Friday?
Well, I was asked to write, or no, my brother and I were engaged to play for a massed Good Friday service way back again in my university days. So I wrote this song. He played bass fiddle, and I had my finger picking guitar, and I was going out with a girl who became my wife, and she was a pianist. So I involved her in this particular project. I wrote the song specifically for a Good Friday service.
Were you thinking about the church choir as you wrote this, or was it more for
No,
your own?
it was a very personal kind of a thing, as that folk idiom is. But now in my retirement, I have this pile of files. So I thought, you know what, I need to go through all this stuff that I've accumulated over this 30, 40 years of music ministry and see if there's anything that can be useful today. So when I was digging through, I found the Good Friday song and thought, even though it's a very focused kind of a thing, I wondered if it would be useful for choirs. So I went at it and rewrote it for piano accompaniment all the way through. I had just that ending and some sort of sneaking in fills and things in the original version. So I wrote it with the piano accompaniment, keeping the ending as an entity. Rewrote some of the text, updated some of the language, and then tried to keep it as intimate as I could, although for a collective voice. So I wrote it for three parts, knowing that that is more the norm than it used to be in church choirs. And it emerged. There it is.
Are there other unique things that you want to point to in this composition, Good Friday, that we should be listening for or paying attention to as conductors and singers?
The ending, again, it can be as dramatic as you want it to be. It could end after the "Why have you gone?" It could end right there.
My God, why have you gone?
But that pause is pregnant. And then the ending, what I really wrestled with was the last chord. Because sometimes we skip through Good Friday and want to get to Easter. And I wanted that ending to have a sense of hope and positiveness, but not a finality. So that last chord, should it be major, should be minor, because it's preceded by two major chords. I thought, you know what? After I experimented over and over and over again, I left it with an open fifth. No third. So it's neither major nor minor. Because it is that moment of this is tragic, but it is significant in a positive, world changing way. So rather than define it, I thought I might leave it.
That's a wonderful example of something that we can really pay attention to that gives us even more depth to this piece of music. You see this music being used particularly on Good Friday in churches with choirs. Is there any other moments that you would have envisioned this piece being used?
I think in the free church tradition, it could be used at at a at a communion service at times other than Good Friday, but it depends, I guess, on the emphasis, because it's a pretty stark and heavy description of Good Friday. We sweeten things up a little bit and romanticize the cross, the old rugged cross, and the cross where the Savior died. But the cross was a horrible, horrible event, and everyone knew it. So naked, bleeding, writhing in pain. That even understates it. So it is a heavy duty kind of a song that has to be, I think, carefully placed in a context.
It's been a wonderful gift to this series and to the church. Thank you so much for your composing of this piece and your gift of music. You can find this piece then on Songs for the Sanctuary, the church choir series with Cypress Publishing. Thanks so much, Gord Adnams.
Thank you, Joy.